This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, starting at verse 1. And it reads, and Yahushua, I'm going to read it verbatim. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the building of the temple. For to show him the buildings of the temple. Verse 2, and Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Verse 10, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Verse 11, and many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. Verse 12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to called Loyam, La Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahushai, Ba Hashem Rachakodas Rakatham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. It's the brother Yahweh Sap out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And basically, this lesson is in regards to this article I came across on New York Post. I know I've seen it on my Newsbreak app. For whatever reason, I'm not getting all my it's not updating on my Newsbreak app with the new articles. I don't know why this is. Maybe I don't have something on or something like that. Got to check into that. My off phone getting actually new articles, but my new phone or my phone I had prior to upgraded recently is getting, like when I connect to Wi-Fi, I'm getting the new articles, but on my newer phone is not. And I'm just rambling. I'm tired, but like the elder said, like brother's been saying, Most High turning up, and we supposed to turn up with him. So all that being said, because at the end of the race, you don't slow down. You actually give it all your best. You give it your all. But this is a very spiritual article nonetheless, because it's showing you the sign of the times, and that's why I brought out that Matthew 24. It went into a multitude of things that would be taking place at the end of days, and a lot of those things that was read are being manifest right now. Wars and rumors of wars with the Russia-Ukraine situation. Civil unrest. Sierra Leone and other places. There's just a lot going on in the world. There's a lot of people hurting. And it's a testament to the time we in, evil times. So let's talk about the love of many waxing cold, and this is a perfect scripture to go with this article because it reads, California couple may have burned baby soon. Salakia. California couple may have burned baby's son with torchlighter before murdering him. Cops. So it reads, this is dated April 29th, 2020. Ricardo Mendez and Anita Miller were arrested in Barstow, California. Now Mendez, he might be Jake. And, I've had thought of a couple of scriptures immediately when I seen this. It says a married California couple have been charged with torturing and murdering their 1-year-old son, whose lifeless body was found wrapped in blankets in the backseat of their car Monday. Ricardo Mendez, 27, and Antonita Miller, 24, from Barstow, were jailed in connection with the death of their son, Jamari Mendez, who was taken to Pomano Hospital with burn marks and other injuries consistent with ongoing abuse, according to police. And that's just showing you what kind of spirits is jumping on these people. It's gonna have to be a certain kind of spirit on you to actually, because people are gonna be so hungry that they're gonna partake in eating people. And people say it's so far fetched, but it's not. When you look at the diets of these people, they can't stop eating. Can't stop putting something in their mouth. They don't know how to give up anything or to go without. And especially these spoiled Americans. Because and know how spoiled they are, because like I said again, I bring up the fact that my lot was to be homeless, and I don't bring it up to brag. You know what I mean? Like, who brags about something like that? If anything, it humbles me, because I'm like, damn, a lot of brothers didn't have to experience that. It showed me that I know I battle with pride to a degree. And that's why the Lord probably had to take me so low. Call law, I'm like, how about you, shot that I'm not low like that. Lord allowed me to have a roof over my head, have a job, And it took me a while to catch it was the Lord, because I'm a person that used to having jobs, and never had been that low, and I couldn't get no jobs like that. The Lord would throw a bone here and there, but for the most part, what's that? Psalms 121. I look to the hills for my salvation, roughly paraphrased. Look to the Lord, but saying all that to say this, you're gonna have people that because bringing up the homeless situation, you got these Babylonians that's so spoiled and privileged. You had proud homeless people, like somebody supposed to gave them that shit. And to show you how cold the Lord is, a lot of programs that was out when I was homeless are no longer around. So when the Lord do what he about to do, people ain't gonna know what the fuck to do. You know what I mean? Like, real talk. Like, a lot of the feeding programs where they used to feed people, if you was destitute or you couldn't afford a meal, a lot of those are no longer like functioning, from what I hear. So yeah, I mean, I know the Lord about to work for real, but back into the article, says the San Bernardino District Attorney's Office announced Thursday that prosecutors have filed charges of murder, assault on a child, causing death, and torture against the boy's parents. They are expected to be arraigned on May 5th. Jamari's aunt, Leslie Mendez, told ABC 7 that Ricardo, who is her brother, and Miller showed up announced with their two older children at her home at 7 p.m. Monday. They both walked inside like nothing happened, Leslie recalled. Initially, the couple claimed that their youngest child, Jamari, was staying with Miller's mother. The aunt said, but eventually Ricardo revealed that the 1-year-old had died and that his body was still in their car parked outside. Family members rushed to the vehicle. That's fucked up. That's judgment, though. Family members rushed to the vehicle and discovered the unresponsive infant in the back seat. Everybody runs and he was covered in blankets. That's when my two other brothers helped my sister-in-law take the baby out, Leslie said. And to just show you how it's literally spiritual, like, it's like do you think that, I mean, like, why wouldn't his family literally get the police involved? You just murdered, one of their family members. The boy was pronounced dead on arrival, and medics contacted. So like he says, a relative drove Jamari to Pomona Valley Hospital while his parents stayed behind at the family's home. The boy was pronounced dead on arrival, and medics contacted the local police departments to report a suspicious death. The Pomona police detectives observed that the child victim sustained injuries consistent with ongoing abuse. The Barstow Police Department stated the officer observed visible signs of trauma to the victim's body, such as lesions, bruising, and burn marks. Some of the injuries appear to be different stages of the healing process. Further investigation uncovered that the alleged abuse likely took place at the couple's home in Barstow, and Jamari had died there before being driven to Pomona. Detectives later served search warrants at Mendez and Miller's home in the 700 block of East Virginia Way and on the family car and seized evidence believed to have been used during the assault on the victim, according to the police. One of the items was described as a torch lighter, which police said was likely used to inflict burns of different sizes and shapes all over Jamari's body. Records obtained by the Daily Press indicate that Mendez has an extensive criminal history, including 2 felony convictions. In 2020, he was charged with attempted murder, making criminal threats, and inflicting corporal injury on a spouse or cohabitant. Mendez pleaded no contest to making criminal threats in exchange for having the other 2 counts dropped and was sentenced to 3 years of probation. So, that's just, again, showing you, it's spirits jumping on and off these people, spirits of judgment, and, because the iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Scriptures talk about how especially our people, it was part of the curse that the father's eye will be evil to his children, just like the mother eye will be evil to their children. Matter of fact, I can get that. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. And I'm going to start at verse 53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body. Now, it's going into basically how Jerusalem was going to be besieged. And, when you go into the siege of Masada, that mountain stronghold was besieged by the Romans. And as a punishment, the Lord made Israel, or Yasharallah, pretty much, because when you can't eat no food, that's when them spirits can jump on you if you're a weak-minded individual. That's why it's so important to, stay prayed up and to fast, But yeah. So during the sieges, it say how people they were gonna eat the fruit of their body, meaning they're young, their children, and that has happened in different sieges. But I brought up the siege of Masada for a particular reason, because that's the one that popped in my mind. It says, "And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy power hath given thee in the siege and in the straitness," where meaning the difficult path, "wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave." And that's a part of the curse why majority of Jake fathers is not in the household. It talks about how the Lord will put enmity between the man and the woman, and he has. One of the biggest enemies on this side, besides Esau, Edom, is the Israelite woman against the man. And I'm living proof of that. Like, as much as I've tried to make it work. And it's funny too, not to let my business be out there, but I mean, talking about literally, I finally got the understanding of what the Bishop Tazawan from Atlanta was going into. He said the thing that you don't want to sacrifice becomes a sacrifice. So those that we love our children, but at the same time, the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, is a jealous power. So if you putting anything, or you more emotional about these people as opposed to the Most High, the Lord can test you and take them away and all that. Sometimes He'll take them away knowing that you might put too much energy. Like, that might be your children, or your spouse might be the reason why you fall out the truth. You've had men do this. The elders have seen a lot of things. But, I've noticed, like with my situation, when I linked back and was like, okay, well, this is the will of the Lord, that's when He ended up putting me in position to have them. And going through all this from, different, getting the police called on me and all that. Just showing you how this woman really didn't love this kid. It's deep. Salakia for digression, though. I'm a little bit all over the place. It says, so that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of the children whom ye shall eat, because he have nothing left with him. Salakia, left him in the siege, in the straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in all thy gates. Verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh off between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. And although this is going into how these mothers is going to eat their children and have eaten their children, and it tells you in the scriptures there's no new thing under the sun. You got certain countries coming out here talking about it's about to be a global famine before the year over with. You got people banking on people banking on the whole motherfucking about income tax next year or what they plan on doing in 2023. Biden ain't saying shit about nothing, just sitting back like a gangster. Like I found it funny how the Lord, he really do has a sense of humor. So, not only them eating the children and their eye being evil, but you gonna have these mothers gonna do like the road and leave their children. I'm watching the Israelite woman do that shit right now. Yeah. So these women don't really love their children. Period. That's why they talk about how the statistics, the so-called black woman or the Israelite woman is the biggest client of Planned Parenthood. They basically do the most abortions, which I can believe that. So with this woman being how she, took part in burning her own kid, that's not surprised. I remember, not surprising. I remember when I was younger having to go to health class. You had them health classes learning about drugs and the body and all that. And I remember watching certain pictures and movies that they would, or the videos that they would play. And what would bug me out, even back then, not bug me out, but have me tripping on it, showing you how, it tells you in the scriptures that the Most High, Solomon said, out of 1,000 men, he knew one, and out of 1,000 women, he knew not none. A woman can literally hold a baby inside their womb for 9 months and then discard it. I remember watching videos like that. You done had this baby growing in your body where you should have had some kind of bond with that baby, and then basically to push the baby out and throw it in the trash can. And then you still want to put a creature like this in charge of something. When, put him in charge of running a government or a household. And Esau Edom knew what he was doing when he did that. That's why another one of the reasons why our nation is so fucked up. You got women trying to raise men and don't know how to be a man, don't know nothing about being a man, but want to tell you what they think a man is. So all that being said, they weren't really given wisdom. And I think of this scripture in the book of Job, because that's why that woman basically could look at her own seed and punish it. This is Job 39. I'm gonna start at verse 13. Gavest thou the goodly wings unto the peacock, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich? When you go into the ostrich, the Most High was using the ostrich because, the ostrich, when you go into it, is a very cruel bird. They'll kill their young. And they was basically referencing and using that as not a parable, but like in comparison to the Israelite woman, which leaveth her eggs in the earth and warmeth them in the dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beast may break them. She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain without fear. Verse 17, because Yahweh hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. A woman really doesn't have any understanding. A woman serves a purpose. A woman is a nurturer. I look at my children, and the Lord blessed me with bringing somebody back into my life that I knew from my past that's somewhat susceptible to the truth, because at the end of the day, these women ain't gonna get 100% of this. But at the same time, that's why we got to be so much on point because they're looking to us for real. But saying all that to say this, you know, a woman is a nurturer. I'm a man. I have female daughters. I have female. Let's say female daughters. I have daughters. So daughters seek affection, and I love my daughters, but I've never been an affectionate, kind of clingy. You know, like all hugs and kisses and all that, and they do that all day, and I could deal with it, but sometimes it be, I'll be feeling smothered. But she can give them that with no hesitation. So a woman is good for, like I said, again, nurturing. But as far as wisdom, like they're emotional. I watch her get emotional now, babe. But the emotions I can't give to them, she can. But when it comes to logically thinking, like she's looking to me like the elder literally was bringing up about the blackouts that's coming. Because best believe that's coming. And he said use prudence and wisdom. By using, if you know that these things are coming, so you should be kind of situating things now. If you got a couple months, try to get a generator, if the Lord allow. Try to get flashlights and candles, if the Lord allow. It ain't gonna be nothing like a time where it's summertime and you ain't got no electricity. You get what I'm saying? So your goods, your food that you done bought, it ain't running because they done turned these power off. I mean, just the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua setting up something truly cold. So I got one last final scripture before I end it, because none of this should be surprising. It tells you in the scriptures that in the last days, we're gonna see perilous times. This is 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection. These two parents, the mother and the father and the mother, let's say, a couple, say married couple, killed their child and went to their family house and had no regard. Like I said, the family took the baby to the hospital while they sat at home. Sat at the family house. If that ain't without natural affection, I don't know what else what else could it be? That's the perfect definition of without natural affection. They didn't even love their own child. Truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, and I think if that goes into incontinence, it's kind of like incontinency, which basically goes into lawless. Fierce, despisers of those that are good. And when you go on that fierce, that means because violence is increasing in the earth because hard times. The Lord unleashing these spirits out here. Like they literally showed up to their family house not thinking that nobody was gonna call the police or they, what I mean, like. Verse 4, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh. And you see that now that, more and more, with all these things going on, from prophecy to just all these situations that's happening in the earth, you got people more concerned about, I'm hearing them talk about these stupid-ass football teams, well, not football, but baseball, and, the Cleveland, I forgot because they made Cleveland change the name of their baseball team. Yeah. Having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. Yeah, the point been made. Basically, like I said, we living in the last days when everybody is more on their own pleasures. They're vain in their thoughts. They're thinking everything about them. They unholy and without natural affection. And the proof is with that is, like I said again, two parents basically tortured, abused, and then let their baby die. And like I said again, you're gonna see more and more of these things takes place in the earth.
So, with what's coming, if you're a so-called black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, the only way to get right with Yahweh Shem Yahushua is to repent and come back to the law, such as commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Chakodas Bakatham. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders, a great millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Yakim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations. Slakia, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to the truth to you. I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Shalom.